All right, welcome back. We're going to do sections 33.3 and 34.4 today. So make sure you have your ISN out and ready. That's the whole plan. So the picture on the bottom there, Brutus denounced the Etruscan kings and was elected one of the first consuls in the new republic. So the patricians create a republic. Over time, the patricians came to resent Etruscan rule. In 509 BCE, a group of patricians, led by Lucius Junius Brutus, rebelled. They drove out the last Etruscan king. In place of a monarchy, they created a republic. In a republic, elected officials govern for the people. To the patricians, the people meant themselves, not the plebeians. The patricians put most of the power in the hands of the Senate. The Senate was a group of 300 patricians elected by patricians. The senators served for life. They also appointed other government officials and served as judges. So, kind of like the oligarchy that we learned before, we have rich guys electing rich guys to make all the laws that benefit the rich guys. So even though 95% of the population are plebeians, it's really only helping the 5% rich people. So 2 elected leaders called consuls shared command of the army. The Senate was supposed to advise the consuls. In fact, the Senate's decisions were treated as law. The creation of the Republic gave Rome a more democratic form of government, but only the patricians could participate in that government. So not very democratic. In your ISN, you have a scale, and when something is heavier on a scale, it has more to it. So here, they're looking at the balance of power. So it asks you on the balance to draw and label a stick figure to represent a patrician and a plebeian and to give them appropriate facial expressions. So on this first one, the patricians have more power. So you're going to do a stick figure and label patrician on the lower part of the scale, and probably a happy face because they really like things. On the higher end will be the plebeian, probably a sad face, label it because they have no power. Then talk about the balance of power for number 2 and why was the balance of power like that. So go ahead and answer those 3 questions. You can pause here if you want, and then we're going to go on to 33.4. And the picture at the bottom, for years, plebeians struggled to gain a share of the political power enjoyed by the patricians. So the plebeians rebel, obviously 95% of the people, and they're not very happy. Rome was now a republic, but the patricians held all the power. They made sure that only they could be part of the government. Only they could become senators or consuls. Plebeians had to obey their decisions. Because laws were not written down, patricians often changed or interpreted the laws to benefit themselves. As a result, a small group of families held all the power in Rome. The plebeians had to fight for what they wanted. They began to demand more political rights. The struggle between plebeians and patricians is known as the conflict of the orders, a conflict between the 2 social classes. So make sure you know what the conflict of the orders is. The conflict grew especially heated during times of war. The new republic frequently fought wars against neighboring tribes. Plebeians had to fight in the army even though the patricians decided whether to go to war. Plebeians resented this. The struggle took a dramatic turn in the year 494 BCE. By then, Rome was a city of 20 to 40,000 people. Most of the population was plebeian. Angry over their lack of power, the plebeians marched out of the city and camped on a nearby hill. They refused to come back until the patricians met their demands. It seems silly to think, oh, what a great revolt. They walk out of the city and they camp on a hill. But think about it, 95% of the people walk out and refuse to work. These are the people that work in the fields and the laborers and the craftspeople, and they serve in the army. So all of those people walk away and say, I'm not doing it anymore. Here's all these rich guys. They don't know how to farm. They don't know how to make products. What if they get attacked? 95% of their army is not going to fight back. So what a brilliant strategy to basically walk away. Rome was in crisis. Work in the city and on the farms came to a halt. Without the plebeians, patricians feared that the army would be helpless if an enemy struck at Rome. A great panic seized the city, wrote Livy, a noted Roman historian. The patricians had little choice but to compromise. All right, so once again, look at your scale, and you're talking about after the revolt. So now the power is really in the hands of the plebeians, and the patricians not so much. Number 2, talk about the conflict of the orders, the balance of power of what's happening. And then number 3, why were the patricians frightened by the actions of the plebeians? So just 3 questions there. And when you're done, that's it for today for social studies. See you tomorrow.